What's up guys, Joe back again with another video for you, and today we're going to be putting the Moza Mini Me smartphone gimbal up against the DJI Osmo Mobile 2. Let's get started. So let's kick things off by quickly talking about the price point here. At the time of this filming, the Moza Mini Me is priced at about $109, while the Osmo Mobile 2 is selling for $139. Now for me, this is probably one of the biggest pros for going with the lesser expensive Moza Mini, but let's take a look at some other important factors. So design-wise, both are pretty close, both are nearly all plastic builds, and they're also both comparably sized. In my opinion, I do think the Moza feels slightly better in the hand in terms of ergonomic feel, but neither are really uncomfortable to use. The Osmo Mobile 2 has one quarter 20 connection on the bottom for connecting to your tripod, or base that you can officially purchase from DJI, so you can set up your gimbal for doing things like time lapses. The Moza Mini, however, has several quarter 20 connections, including one on the bottom that allows you to attach the included mini tripod, and the other connections allow for accessories like lights or microphones to be mounted directly to the gimbal. In terms of weight, both are pretty similar, with the Osmo Mobile 2 coming in at 485 grams, while the Moza Mini is slightly heavier at 490. Payload capacity for the Moza is 300 grams compared to the Osmo Mobile 2 at 240 grams max. So I'd say if you have a heavier device, then this is probably another plus for purchasing the Moza. Adjusting and balancing each device is easy, both have two adjustment knobs, and the balancing process for both is pretty similar. Battery life definitely goes to the Osmo Mobile 2 with an estimated 15 hours of battery life from a 2600 mAh battery. Of course, remember, battery estimates are based on the device being properly balanced, and that goes for any gimbal on the market today. You can also use the battery to charge your smartphone, which is a nice touch. The Moza Mini isn't too far behind though, with a respectable 10 hours of battery life from a 2100 mAh battery. It also has the same ability to charge your smartphone via a cable. However, the Moza Mini is the first smartphone gimbal to include wireless charging, so if you have a compatible device, the Moza Mini proves to be a slightly more convenient option. Controls for each device are similarly located on each gimbal, but there are some key differences. The Osmo Mobile 2 is a little cleaner in my opinion, with a joystick, record button, mode button, and zoom toggle. The Moza Mini takes a slightly different approach with a scrollable dial for zooming that is also clickable, a dedicated camera button, a joystick, and a power button. Both gimbals also have indicator lights to help keep track of your battery life, but in the case of the Moza Mini, the lights will actually indicate which follow mode you're in as well. Speaking of follow modes, with the Osmo Mobile 2, you have a couple of main modes, which are follow and free. You can toggle between the two by pressing the mode button a single time for each. If you double press the mode button, you will center your device, and a triple press will toggle between the front and rear cameras, putting you in selfie mode. It's pretty simple and clean, and I think that's a definite pro for the Osmo Mobile 2. The Moza, on the other hand, has more flexibility, but that seems to come at a slight disadvantage in my opinion, because you kind of have a lot more to remember. Double press the left button on the dial wheel and yaw axis locks in follow. With a triple press, that will lock your pitch axis into follow. Double press the right button on the dial wheel and that puts you into sports gear mode, which is great for fast action. The bottom button on the dial wheel will recenter your device when double pressed, and a triple press will put you into selfie mode. Finally, triple pressing the upper button on the scroll wheel puts the gimbal into my favorite mode, and possibly the coolest feature of the Moza Mini, and that's Inception Mode. So this mode allows you to get some crazy 360-degree spinning shots, and for lack of a better term, it just looks badass. I think this feature alone is worth picking up a Moza Mini, but that may just be me. So the last thing I want to talk about are the respective smartphone apps for each gimbal. Now while they may be important to some people, I have to say I'm not a huge fan of using either. Now don't get me wrong, it's not because they're bad, although DJI definitely takes the win in this category easily. It's just that I prefer recording in 60 FPS on my Galaxy S9 because OIS isn't enabled, and I definitely want to make sure that I have the cleanest, most steady footage possible. When you use either app, you're capped at whatever frame rate the app will allow, and as far as I know, neither allows for 4K 60. So the bottom line here is that we're living in a time when you can get some really cool gear at ridiculously good prices. Both of these gimbals have their pros and their cons, and in the end, I think the highest praise I can actually give the Moza Mini is that it really holds up against a top flight gimbal like the Osmo Mobile 2. I believe that either would be a great pickup, but at $109, what you get from the Moza Mini may just be too good to pass up. Okay, well that definitely does it for this one. I love that decisions are getting tougher and tougher because that means we as consumers are winning out there. If you enjoyed this video, be awesome and hit that like button. If you aren't already subscribed to the channel, make sure to click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future videos. And as always, I'll see you next time. See ya.